Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So this channel, Everyday Data Science, is all about trying to learn the different concepts involved in data science by practicing a lot of questions. In this video, I'm going to solve this question on LeetCode regarding leaked statistics and try to walk you through how we can develop solutions to such problems. The difficulty level of this question is medium. Okay, let's jump right in. We are given a table called teams with two different columns, team ID, team name, team ID being the primary key for this table. Each row contains information about one team in the league. Okay. We are also given a second table called matches with four different columns: home team ID, away team ID, home team goals, and away team goals. The combined columns home team ID and away team ID is the primary key for this table. Each row contains information about one match. Home team goals is the number of goals scored by home team. Away team goals is similarly the number of goals scored by away team. Winner of the match is the team with the higher number of goals. Okay. We are asked to write a SQL query to report the statistics of the league. The statistics should be built using the played match where the winning team gets 3 points, losing team gets no points, and if there is a draw, both teams get 1 point. Okay. Now these are the different columns that should be there. The name of the team, matches played, either at home or away, so total matches played, total points, goals for, so the number of goals scored by each team, goals against, number of goals against each team, and goal differences, goal for minus goal against. The results should be ordered by points in decreasing order. If there is a tie, then by goal difference in decreasing order, and if still there is a tie, then by team name in basically alphabetical order. Let's go through this example, right? So here we have three different teams and then we have four different matches basically, right? So let's take one example, right? So for example, team ID 1, right? Ajax. Team ID is so home, away, away. So Ajax has played 4 matches. Now out of which, how many matches they won, right? So here it was home and away. So their number of goals is less than away. So they lost this one, tied this one, right? Here they again lost this one and tied this one, right? So the number of points is 1 plus 1, 2. They played 4 matches, got 2 points. Number of goals that they scored, so 0 plus 3, right? Plus 2 plus 0. So in total 5 goals they scored, right? How many goals were scored against them? So 1 plus 3, that is 4, plus 5 plus 0, that is 9. So what is the difference? 5 minus 9, that is minus 4. So if you look at it, 4 matches played, 2 points, both from the draws, right? 5 they hit goals, 9 goals that were hit against them, and the difference is minus 4. Similarly, we can do that for the remaining 2 teams as well. So here, if we start developing this query, so what we can do is, one way that I can think of is, what if we use a union function here. So using this matches table, the first thing that we can do is group by the home team ID, right? Count star, so it will give you the number of matches played at home. Then use the case when statements to determine whether home team goals was greater than away team goals. If yes, assign 3 points. If it was equal, assign 1 point. And in the remaining case, assign 0 points, right? So based on that, you can calculate the home team, right? The number of matches they played, the points that they scored at home, how many goals that they scored at home, how many goals were scored against them at home, right? And then what we can do the same thing for away teams, right? And then do the same thing, number of matches they played away, number of points they scored away, number of goals that they kicked away, number of goals that were kicked against them away in away matches, right? And then what we can do is, then we can union these 2 things and then finally group by the final team ID. So obviously if it is not clear yet, let me just start building this query, it will get more clear. But if you see what we are just basically doing, the basic logic is for calculate all these rows for home matches and then calculate for away matches and thus join them, right? So basically it is going to give for each matches, because the entire thing league statistics is you play at home, you play away, right? When you add all those stuff, you get the league statistics, right? So let me start with the home teams, right? So let me just drag this here. Okay, so what we are doing is, from this table called matches, right? Let's group by the home team ID, right? And then what we are doing, so let's return the home team ID. Let's alias this as team ID, because since we are going to union this with another thing, right? So it's okay to have a common name, but it does not matter. Like, just for the sake of clarity, I'm writing this alias. So let's say it is team ID, right? Now, since we grouped by home team ID, how do we count the number of matches they played? We just simply write count star, right? So it will count. Okay, so for one, so right, we are only considering this, right? So home team ID. So for group 1, it will count. Okay, so there are 2 rows, so 2 matches played by team ID 1 at home, right? So let's write this as matches played, right? Then what do we need? After that, we need points, right? So what we can do is, now points are based on whether they win, draw or lose, right? So obviously when you are a home team, right? So case when home team goals, right? Home team goals is greater than away team goals, right? Then you are going to get basically 3 points. When home team goals is equal to away team goals, right? When it is equal, basically it is a draw. Then how many points do you get? 1. Else you lost and you get 0, and since you started case when statement, you end that, and after calculating these points, you basically sum this, right? So it will give you the number of points scored in home, right, by each team. So you add this, and let's write this as points. Okay, after that, what do we need? We need goal for, right? So basically goal for is home team goal. Since we are only considering home teams, right? So if we sum all the home team goals, so basically these are the goals that were hit by the home team, right? So we write sum of home team goals as goals, or is it goal for, right? Similarly, if you just sum up the away team goals, so away team goals, basically these are the goals that were against the home team, right? So let's write as goal against, right? Okay, and goal difference is basically goal for minus goal against, right? So you just copy this thing, right? We can do this at the end as well, but let's just do it here, like for the sake of continuity, right? So you goal for, then how did we calculate goal against? This is the goal against, right? Also remember one thing, you might be like, if your basics are not clear, you might be asking like, why are we writing sum still and not goal for minus goal against? Remember like how SQL starts, right? So it starts from this, right? Then groups by, then the select statement. So everything that you write here has equal precedence, right? So it is not that firstly this is going to occur, then a column named goal against is going to be assigned, and then if you use goal against here, it is going to take care, right? So that is not the case. But if you write order by, so since order by executes after the select statement is completed, then you can use those aliases in the order by, right? So anything that executes after a certain point, right, then you can use that aliases. If not, if the precedence is equal or before, you need to write the entire thing, right? So you calculate the sum, and let's write this as goal diff, right? Okay, this is not complete. Let me just run this and see if we are getting what we are planning to get for home teams, right? Okay, so if you compare for this team ID 1, that is Ajax, right? So 1 played how many matches, right? 2. So the second column is number of matches played, then number of points scored. So here it lost, so obviously 0 points. Here it draw, so it was a draw, so you get 1 point. So it got 1 point at home, right? Number of goals that they scored at home, so 0 plus 3, so here we get 3. Goals that were scored against them, at home. So 1 plus 3, that is 4, right? And what is the difference? 3 minus 4 is minus 1. Similarly for 4 and for 6 as well, right? 1 matches, etc., number of points, etc., etc., right? Similarly, what we can do is we can do the same stuff for away teams, right? And union them. So let's write union, right? Union all. Okay, so why I am writing union all and not union? Now you need to make sure that there is a difference between union and union all. So union, what it does is anything that comes from this, right, if it gets repeated from the next query that I'm going to write, so it will keep only one out of them, right? But if you think about it, it is possible that home team played the same number of matches at away, right? So basically the entire thing can be same as well. Played the same number of matches away, scored similar number of goals or same number of goals away and at home, right? And still, like, you can basically have repetition, but you don't want to keep only one out of it because it does not make sense, right? We need home as well as away as well. So that is why we are writing union also. It will take everything that you get from this and everything you are getting from this. So you need to use union all here, right? Okay, second thing is exactly almost similar, right? So you just copy this and paste it, and all we need to do is make some changes to it, right? So this is the union all. Let me just add a space here just for the clarity. I will just remove this once we have our final query. Okay, so now what we are doing is we are doing for away team ID, right? So away team ID, and we are grouping by away team ID. So similarly, from matches, you group by away team ID, take that away team as a team ID, you count star. So again, for 1, it is going to be count star, that is 2 matches played away, right? So you count star matches played, then case when. Now since you are away, then you need to reverse all these signs, right? So if you are away, then if away team goals is more than home team goals, then you will get 3 points because you are playing away and you need to score more to win, right? So just reverse this sign. So away team goals is greater than home team goals, then you get 3 points. If you score still equal, then you get 1, and otherwise you get 0. This is the points. Now since you are away, then the sum of away team goals is the goals that you are scoring, right? And the home team is basically your opponent. So the sum of home team goals is the goal that are being scored against you, right? And then goal diff is goal for minus goal against. So goal for is now sum of away team goals, right? So this should be away, right? So this is goal for, and then goal against is the home team. So home, this goes to goal diff, right? Now this is union all. Now since we are writing union, so we need to include both of these queries in parentheses separately, otherwise it will throw us an error, right? We have this. Okay, now let me run this and then we will move forward, right? Let me just run this. Okay, so now if you look at it, right, so for the first, so you how many rows you are going to have basically in this? So for 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5 and 6, right? Since we are grouping by home team ID and away team ID. So the first 3 we already looked at, right? Let's start with row 4. So 1, 2, 3, right? So row 4. So row 4 is for 4, right? For 4 away team, how many matches it has played? 1, right? Since there is no other row where it is away team ID, so 1 match played and it scored. So away team goals is more than home team goals, right? So it's 1. So how many points it will get? 3. So 4, number of matches played is 1, points they got is 3, goals that they scored is 1, right? Goals that were scored against them is 0, and 1 minus 0 is 1, right? You get that. Similarly for this, similarly for this, right? Now what you need to do, what we can do is we can store this entire thing in common table expression. So with CT as, and this entire thing should go in parentheses. So we write, open the parentheses, close the parentheses. So now this entire thing is stored in a common table expression. And from this common table expression, now we need the final output, right? Since in the final output we have team names, not the IDs, and team name is in this teams column or teams table, right? So from this common table expression aliased as C, let's join the teams table aliased as T on C dot team ID is equal to T dot team ID, right? T dot team ID, right? And then once you join this, so basically from all this common table expression, another column is going to be added, and it will basically give you, okay, so team ID 1 is basically Ajax, 4 is Dortmund, 6 is Arsenal, right? So once you have that, since you need that in your output, you just group by that name, right? So group by T dot team name, because team name is in the teams table, right? So group by T dot team name, you return the team name, right? Return T dot team name, right? And then matches played. So everything is now just what? Sum, right? So since you now grouped by the team, all you do is sum of matches played, right? So basically this is home plus away is aliased as matches played, right? Similarly, matches played, similarly points, right? So sum of points, right, as points. So this points sum is basically home points plus away points, and this entire thing is going to be points, right? For better clarity, what you can do is, instead of writing this, you can write here home matches played, here you can write, you know, home points scored, home points, right? Similarly, goal for at home, goal against at home, etc., like to make sure of that. But like I have written in that way so that, you know, like we don't get confused and we are in what we need in the final output. So once you have the final points, now what we need? Goals for, right? Again, sum of goal for as goal for, right? Sum of goal against as goal against, right? And then you have goal diff, right? Similarly, you can just go ahead and sum this, right? Sum of goal diff as goal diff, right? Now this is not over yet, right? We need to also order by certain things. So we write order by points, right? So points in decreasing manner. If there is a tie, then goal diff by in decreasing manner. If still a tie, then T dot team name, right? Okay, so this looks good. Let me go ahead and run this to see what happens. Okay, so this is accepted. Our output is same as expected output. If you look at it, like we got exactly the same stuff as output, right? And let me go ahead and submit it to see if it passes all the test cases. So yep, this passes all the test cases, and this is how I do it. Again, this query looks big, but if you just, you know, think about it, it is actually the same thing twice, right? And if you follow the simple logic that, you know, for home, you calculate all this stuff, all these metrics. For away, you calculate all these metrics, sum them up, right? And you get the final output. So I hope it was clear. Let me know if there is a better way or a more efficient way. And is there a way to do this without using union? If you can, you know, in a single query, can you do this without using common table expression? Let me know in the comment section. Let the solution be there as well. And until then, I will see you guys in the next video.